You have just checked your savings. Maybe it's 1800, maybe it's 6000, and somewhere in the back of your head there is a number 100,000. That feels simultaneously like a goal and completely out of reach at the same time. I want to show you exactly how far away it actually is. Not with motivational talk, with numbers. Because the honest answer is it depends on three things: how much you earn, how much you save, and when you start. Those three things interact in ways that aren't obvious until you actually run the numbers. Before we get into the model, a quick word on why 100,000 is actually worth using as a target in the first place. It's not just a round number, it's a mathematical inflection point. Once you have 100,000 invested at 7% annual average return, which is reasonable long-run assumption for a globally diversified equity portfolio, your money is generating roughly £7,000 a year in growth. That's over £580 a month from nothing except the money already there. At that point, compound growth starts doing more of the heavy lifting. You are still contributing, but the portfolio is increasingly working alongside you rather than being carried entirely by you. That shift matters, and the maths behind it is exactly where we are going to build up to today. Right, let me walk you through three scenarios. These are modeled using a stocks and shares ISA, the UK's main tax-efficient investment account where your growth and withdrawals are completely tax-free from income or capital gains tax. For each scenario, I have used two return assumptions: 5% per year and 7% per year, both in nominal terms. Just to be clear on what those mean. Nominal means before inflation. Real returns after inflation would be lower. But since we are targeting a nominal number 100,000, we will look in nominal terms throughout. Scenario 1. 25,000 salary, savings £200 per month. Earning 25,000, you are taking home roughly £1,733 a month after tax and national insurance. Saving £200 of that is about 11.5% of your take-home pay. That's a real commitment on that salary. Not easy but achievable if you are living frugal or have low fixed cost. At 5% annual return, you will reach 100,000 in approximately 23 years. At 7% annual return, you will reach 100,000 in approximately 20 years. That's not fast, but here's the thing. On this scenario, the real lever isn't return rate. It's the savings rate. If you find a way to increase your monthly contributions from £200 to £300, a 50% increase in what you save, you knock down 4 years of the timeline at 7%. That's 4 extra years on the other side of the 100k, where compounding is doing far more work for you. Scenario 2. 35,000 salary, saving £400 per month. At 35,000, you are taking home around £2,297 per month. Saving £400 is about 17% of the take-home pay. That is a solid savings rate, roughly in line with what financial planners often suggest as a meaningful wealth building pace. At 5% annual return, you will reach 100,000 in approximately 14 years. At 7% annual return, you will reach 100,000 in approximately 13 years. Now, I want to show you something important here. The gap between 5% and 7%, it's only 1 year in this scenario. That's nothing, but it's far smaller than people expect. The difference in savings rate matters more. But here is the real lesson from this scenario. The cost of waiting. Let's say two people both earn 35,000, both plan to save £400 a month. Person A starts today. Person B means to start, but life gets in the way and they start 5 years later. Person A hits 100k at year 13. When they have been investing for 18 years total, they will have roughly £170,000. Person B hits 100k at the same point, but that's year 13 from their start, which is year 18 from our starting point. So at the moment person B crosses 100k, person A is already starting on 170k and accelerating. The gap doesn't close, it widens because compounding growth is path dependent. It rewards the years you put in early more than those you put in late. Scenario 3. £50,000 salary, saving £700 per month. At 50,000, take-home pay is approximately £3,119 per month. Saving £700 is about 22% of take-home. This is an ambitious savings rate, but achievable. particularly if you are not yet paying a mortgage or you have kept lifestyle inflation in check as your salary grew. At 5% annual rate, you reach £100,000 in approximately 9 years. At 7% annual rate, you will reach 100,000 in approximately 8 years. Notice again, the gap between 5% and 7% is 1 year. And the reason is simple. When you are saving hard, your contributions are doing most of the work in the early years. The rate return only really separates scenarios once you have a large pot already sitting in their compounding. In the early phase, how much you put in matters most. In the later phase, what it returns matters most. Let me make this concrete because I see a lot of confusion about this. Savings rate is the dominant lever in the first decade. Every extra £50 per month you can contribute compounds over the full period. You have complete control over it. You can start it today. Investment return matters more as your pot grows. But here is the honest thing to say. You don't control this. You can choose a low-cost, globally diversified index fund, something like a total world equity tracker. And that's about as much as you can do. Chasing higher returns by taking more risk or picking up individual stock is more likely to hurt your timeline than help it. The maths consistently show the same thing. A realistic improvement in savings rate beat realistic improvement in return. Going from saving £300 a month to £400 a month is more impactful than going from 5% to 7% annual return, and far more within your control. The one thing you absolutely cannot recover is time. Every year you delay is a year of compounding you don't get back. So where does this leave us? The single most important thing you can do today, not this year, today, is open a stocks and shares ISA and put something in it. It doesn't have to be £700 a month. It doesn't even have to be £200 a month. What matters is that the clock starts. The gap between the person who starts today on £100 a month and the person who waits 2 years starts on £400 a month is smaller than you would think in short term and enormous in the long term. The second thing, increase your savings rate before you worry about return optimization. Pick a low-cost index fund inside your ISA, one with an annual fund cost below 0.25%, and redirect your energy into finding another £50 a month. That move will do more for your 100k timeline than any fund switch. 100,000 is not out of reach on any average salary, and the sooner you treat it as a real target with a real timeline, the sooner the math starts working on your favor. If you found this useful, subscribe. I post videos like this regularly, grounded in real UK numbers and plain English. And if you want to understand the vehicle we have been talking about throughout this video, the stocks and shares ISA, I have done a video breakdown on how it works, what it costs, and how to choose one. That's linked in the description and it should be coming up on screen now. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one.